आपले पुढचे वक्ते जे आहेत, I would now call upon our next speaker, Miss Maliha Tabassum. I request my tech team to take Maliha on screen with us. Hello, Maliha. We welcome you to this virtual global conference.
Hello.
Maliha is a D Pharma student, a youth icon from Long Island University, New York. She served as a chapter president of the American Pharmacists Association. She's a recipient of the Mary Musen Rung, an award that recognizes women in this field. She has done numerous community projects and has a strong passion for youth and education and development. Thank you so much, Maliha, for joining us. We would request you to sum up your speech in 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are. My name is Maliha, and thank you so much for the Jaihind party movement, especially Dr. Sudhir Tambe and Dr. Suraj Gavande for inviting me and allowing me this opportunity to be able to speak about education quality in South Asian countries. So I would like to mention a few points about like certain differences that here in US we have compared to South Asian countries. And also at the end, I would like to go over some of the suggestions that I have and I have experienced, which could perhaps help overcome these problems. So first of all, I would like to mention about the difference between the education system in both USA and the South Asian countries. For example, in America here, our learning system are more creative compared to like lecture based or the learning in South Asian countries where it's more memorization based. Here it's more logical and much more practical, and it's not only just exams after exams and just you have to memorize these chapters and simply just memorize and write the answers compared to here where you're basically reading something, learning it, and being able to apply it. So that encourages the student to learn compared to just memorize and pass the exam. Secondly, I would like to mention about the infrastructure that we have between education system. For example, in America, we have like very well-established infrastructure. For example, technology. Now, during COVID-19 pandemic, as soon as we heard that situation was worse, there was a lockdown, all the schools were closed right away, and everything was virtual. Like I remember as a fourth year PharmD student, when we were told that there are after our spring break there will be online classes, right away there was no delay, nothing, and we got that reassurance that we will have our classes on time. In addition to that, my brother who goes to a public school in New York and my cousins, they were also given iPads, and all the students were given iPads or Chromebooks, compared to in South Asian countries where I have family, where they were told that there was some uncertainty that maybe they will get delayed, they will not have proper classes. Eventually I did hear that the well-off students, the privileged students, were able to on their own expense be able to use online services. On the other hand, the underprivileged students in the South Asian countries did not have that advantage of being able to use online technology because they just could not afford it. So as a result, they lost that opportunity of education, which I believe is a right for everyone. Thirdly, I would like to mention about the English fluency. English is a language that you can go around the world and be able to use it. However, a lot of people in South Asian countries, they go to, for example, in India, they would go to Hindi medium schools. And then after that, they would go to university where most of the courses are taught in English. So now they would struggle. They would not feel comfortable sharing what they feel. So something like that could be avoided easily if we have these kind of education in English in a very younger age. For example, in middle school, in high school, there should be at least 1 or 2 courses which prepares them to be able to use English as a language, be confident on what they're saying. So I know I mentioned some of these differences, and now how can we improve them? For example, having qualified teachers who are able to understand their students, are able to help their students, be friends with them, and understand the problem as a whole, like what individually, like what would help an individual student rather than just the whole class. Have teachers who are well educated in English and can provide that same education to their students. also have more qualified teachers compared to just few students. Not only just those rich private schools, but also those public schools where poor students attend. In addition to that, having jobs. There are some students, there are some kids who just go to work because they need the money. They think that, okay, school is a waste of time because what's the guarantee that I'll get a job after I graduate? So a reassurance would be very helpful for them. In addition to that, funding. Funding is important. For public schools in America, we have a lot of funding, which helps develop these students. For example, there was enough funding to provide every student an iPad. I'm not saying that that should be done completely in other countries, but a funding that should be used properly towards the development of students, what would help them, not just on expensive items, but something that's, for example, when during COVID, an iPad could be helpful, or like having a computer that maybe 6 or 7 students can access at the same time, so proper social distance can be maintained. Things like that could be used to improve that. And I believe that, I know I mentioned a lot of points, and I hope my suggestions would help understanding the problem and perhaps solving it. Thank you once again, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maliha. We are indeed extremely happy to see that at a young age you have grasped a lot of realities and you are able to express so many things in front of this entire global forum. We wish you all the best for all your future work, dear.